Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of our mini album tutorial. We've done 3 months and today we're going to look at 4 months. Okie dokie, we are back. So we have done our 3 months. So we have got the frame on the front here that is magnetised closed. We've then got this page with the little flaps. And then we've got a large pocket here. So that's 3 months. So now we're going to turn over and we're going to do 4 months. I'm going to get my scraps of craft card. And we're going to do, do I want an up and down gatefold? Side to side. Up and down would be better in terms of photo capabilities. Unless I do the entire width, but then it's not properly a gatefold, is it? I could do an overlapping gatefold, I guess. No, I kind of want a gatefold that meets in the middle. I think we'll do an up and down. So, we are 7 3/4. So 7, so 3.5 and 3/8, 1, 2, 3. So there is our centre point. So let's get out our little scoreboard, and I'm taking that out because I don't actually like using that. I'm going to go back to my ball tool. I just think it scores a lot nicer. So we're cutting down one of the bigger ones. So first step for this, let's get our width. Sorry, I did not mean to just smash the mirror there. Smash the mirror. Camera. Sorry. I am very tired today. I actually slept really well last night, but yeah, for some reason I'm struggling today. So we are the right width, so let's do our score line. 1/2 inch score. Okay, well that's not scoring very well. Apparently I'm going to have to use the rubbish one because I have no power in my hands today. Great fun. I'm going to check though, because I've got the bigger version of this and I actually quite like the scoring tool on that one. Yeah, I think being slightly bigger might help. Let's see if this helps my hand at all. It might not, we'll see. So it definitely scores nicely. We'll fold this down and then find our pencil line. Cut this off. Trim this bit down. Fit. Yep, excellent. Let's grab our glue. So how are you all doing? I had a bit of an upset yesterday. I am a ridiculously over-the-top fan of musical theatre. I absolutely adore. I adore theatre in any kind, but musical theatre is my jam. I studied it. I have been in several musicals. I absolutely adore musical theatre. And I've been looking forward to for ages, taking a friend of mine to see Hamilton, taking my best friend, and also going to see Les Mis with my other half. We normally go every year. It's kind of like our thing. We didn't go this January because, sorry, heard a weird ringing noise. I think it's just the washing machine going and setting my ears funny. Yeah, so we go to see Les Mis. Are we wide enough? That's frustrating. Neither side is wide enough. I want to do it the same way. We didn't go in January because I was still recovering from my operation and I was struggling a lot in terms of my mobility. So we didn't go in January as we normally do. We decided we were going to leave it and do it later on in the year. And then obviously everything hit, and I saw, well, I didn't see, my very brave best friend text me to tell me that they are not planning for any shows to run for the rest of this year, which utterly gobsmacked me and I was really upset about. So I told my other half and he went, yeah, I did know that, I just didn't want to tell you and upset you. Which I thought was quite funny. Bless him. Yeah, says it all really, doesn't it, when he won't tell you something because he's worried it's going to upset you. But yeah, I do love musicals. Very sad if they don't come back this year. And my fear is, you know, everyone out of work, but also whether certain theatres will have to, you know, I don't know how they're going to work. I don't know how they're all funded. I don't know how it works for all of them. It's a bit, you know, of a concern. So let's stick that on there. I do that and that. Yeah, so I'm quite sad about that. Although Hamilton is coming to Disney Plus on the 3rd of July, which is a reason to get Disney Plus in my opinion. Because yeah, we've got quite a few. I've got a lot on the DVD and things, so I can watch them, but I just love theatre in person. It's just got a slight gap there, which is slightly annoying. Once I stick that on, that is going to be a problem because you're going to see the underneath. This is what happens when you get distracted, woman. Focus. Focus on what you are doing. Stop being upset about theatre. Okay. Sorry, I got called out and I've totally lost where I was with talking to you. So if I repeat myself, I apologise. So, yes. Talking about going to the theatre and how much I'm going to miss it. So what is it? Is there something that you're going to miss that you either already miss a lot of, so you already miss it, or is there something you know that once life starts getting back to normal but not everything is open, you're going to miss? For me it is theatre. I love the theatre. I don't know what I'm doing. This is slightly too big. And not straight. Okay, let's start by straightening you. Okay. That's better. Good. Right. Now, this one's going to be slightly different because this isn't quite deep enough, but I didn't want to cut up another big piece. There is definitely something that I'm going to miss, because I do love it. And I don't think, thinking back, we normally go in January. January is a tricky month for me, for personal reasons. So we normally, my other half started this sort of tradition where we go and see shows in January to take my mind off it and to have a bit of fun in the cold winter and everything else. But we went last year, which was last January, or I can't remember if we went to see something with my odd child in July. I can't remember whether we did. But whenever it was, it's been a long time since I've been to the theatre, and I'm missing it already. I'm really missing it already. So this is going to be almost 3/8 of an inch gusset. Not ideal, but I wanted to use the bits of card that I've got rather than cut another piece, for the sake of 1/8 of an inch on the hinge. Obviously the 1/2 inch would have been better, but once you've got the paper on and everything else on, it's actually not too much of an issue in terms of the stability, because the paper itself, this card is strong, the design paper is strong. So look at that, lovely, much easier way to do it. So yeah, I want to know, what things are you gonna miss? Or alternatively, if like me, you can't work because you're shielding, or someone you live with is shielding, or something along those lines, and you've not been at work and you've had more time to craft, what's something you're going to miss when you go back to normality? Because I know for a fact that I will miss being able to craft often, because once I go back to work, a lot of my energy will be used up at work, and so I won't be able to craft every day because I'll be recovering from work, which sounds really stupid, but the joys of being exhausted. So I know for a fact that I'm going to miss being able to craft every day too, because yeah, I do love being able to craft. I don't craft every day, my body just doesn't let me, but I'm able to while I'm off work. Normally I manage to do maybe 4 or 5 days a week, and not for very long either, but do you know what, it's been wonderful being able to do it. Okay, so there is, why is that corner coming up? Come here. Okay. Pop this on here for a second. There we go, right. So we're going to have that. That's going to be closed with a like a string closure. Just trying to think, do we want anything else? I'm tempted to put a little pocket on here, because in fact, I might not even need the closure, because if I put pocket and put a photo mat in, that'll keep this closed, won't it? That's a nicer idea. And then, do we want some flaps? I don't know. Oh, in fact, I'm going to put another 2 on top of this one. I'm going to put another 2 on top of that one. So it's a bit like a flip waterfall. With even slightly shorter. In fact, that one's pretty much dead on the same size, isn't it? Okay, cool. So we use that one. And here's this one. This one will need a trim. So what are these? I think we take off 1/2 inch off both. And how wide are these? How deep are these? So these are, if I cut them at 3.5, which is there. There we go, so these are the same length. Same. Yes. They are different widths for some reason. I don't know why we are different widths. That one seems to be okay. So is this one too long? Oh yes. It's not good. I apologise if you can hear my washing machine. I do try and film when it's not going, but I've had a few days where I've been stuck in bed, so I'm having to use whatever time I've got. If it's a problem, please let me know, and I will make sure that it doesn't happen in future videos. Right, so let's look at this. This is the correct way. That way, turn it this way. So these I'm going to stick on top of the top one. We'll see, we'll sort that one out in a bit. So let's add these onto the top. So I don't know how things are near you. What are schools near you doing? Are they back, not back? I know that the government advice here has changed. So I think it was a lot of parents were not happy with the situation. I can't say that I don't agree with them. I think it was an awful thing to do, send children back first. I understand that they need to go back, but if you're not willing to put yourselves in risk in Parliament, I'm going to take another. Brain, come on brain. Can I take off 1/4 inch? Yeah. I'll take off another 1/4 inch to make it even short. I'll get one step shorter so that we've got some interest there. Stick this on. So yeah, I know that my school are still open for some students, so those sort of that have key workers as their parents and carers, but my schools have also been dealing with that from the very beginning. We've had staff in school every day since the whole situation kicked off to support key workers. So it's tricky because I understand that people are worried and everything else. I really do. But I think that harassing teachers and schools about it is not the correct way to go, because I know a lot of schools have been doing their best. Okay, so now we've got like a little stepped waterfall on the top, which is really cute. And I could still do the closure. Do I want to do a pocket? Oh, I think I do want to do a pocket on here. Let's do that. Cut one of these down. What height do I want the pocket? About half of that. What is that? Just out of interest, what is that? For anyone who is interested, that is 2 3/4. Trim this down to 2 3/4. 2 3/4. There we go. A nice straight edge. I just want to keep some longer bits for similar situations. That's why I'm cutting it the lengthways. That's my thought process on it, so that I've got different sized and shaped scraps, because that helps in situations like this where you're creating different layouts. So we'll start by making our 1/2 inch. Okay. So yeah. Do you know what I am looking forward to though, if life goes back to some style of normality, is having something else to talk about, because I feel like at the moment all do you ever have one of those days where you want to just, yeah, never mind, eh? Oh, I'm just keeping this at 3 now because I should have scored at my pencil line, not cut. I'm so... Anyway. Okay, so I've popped this on fast forward because you don't need to watch me doing this again. I'm going to measure where I want the pocket to end, and this time I'm going to score on my pencil lines. Just to give you a bit of context, while I was doing this, I was talking and taking the mickey out of myself for finding the wrong words. So my best mate and I were watching a cooking show, and what I wanted to say was he should have put his mac and cheese in the ramekin. What I actually said was he should have put his mac and cheese in the mannequin, which gave it a really different meaning, slightly more freaky than I actually intended. So yes, that is what I was talking about while doing this, just so the next bit makes sense. You know, my best mate jokes that he speaks fluent Laura, because I don't know, I speak some gibberish sometimes, and a lot of what I say doesn't always make sense. He is around me long enough to say that he speaks fluent Laura. My concern is that I get into a conversation and I tie myself in knots because I get tongue-tied and whatever, and then that gives the person I'm talking to, who has whatever, racist, transphobic, homophobic, any of these views, it lets them think they're right because I can't explain why they're wrong, and I don't want to fuel that. So I'm trying to sort of read as much as possible and try and make sure that I've got the correct wording, because I know that, you know, it is very important that we get the wording right in situations like these, because it's such an important thing. I'm just going to, because this has got several layers, I'm just going to clip this till the glue dries. So that's sort of my situation with it at the moment. I want to help, I want to support, I want to do all these things, but I don't want to end up doing it with the wrong terminology and end up with, you know, exacerbating the situation. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of reading and a lot of thinking and a lot of searching, and yeah, it's an interesting thing. And on it, I was thinking about the fact that I say "hey guys" at the start of my video. Now, I've always used guys as a gender neutral term. When I worked in restaurants, it would just be "hey guys" to a table because it's easier. But I know that there are people who do see that as a masculine group of people. So I would be really interested in knowing how you guys feel about it. If people mind me saying "hey guys," if people would prefer me to change my greeting, I have no problem changing it, if that's what people would like. But I want to say that, you know, I say it as a general group of people. I don't have a gender identity to that word, even though I know technically it does, and that's where this gets difficult with people, because I know people who, you know, will spout some sort of something that, you know, is definitely a negative about whatever group of people, be it men, women, black, white, gay, straight, like whoever, they will have these negative words for these groups, but they will pass it off as saying, well, you know, I don't view it that way. And you know, maybe they don't. Maybe that is genuinely how they feel. You know, I genuinely use guys as a group of people. I don't have a gender assigned to it, but I know that the greater world generally does. So that's why I want to ask you guys about that. See, even there, I say you guys about it. It's just my default from working in a restaurant. You know, you see so many people. It's just easier to say, hey guys, to every table. But I am being very aware. You know, I'm very careful of my wording most of the time anyway, but especially now with everything that's going on, I thought actually this is something that I need to address and I need to look at. And I think that's yeah. Sorry, slightly off topic and on a bit of a rant about stuff. I didn't mean to do that at all. Let's go back to crafting, shall we? So yes, so I haven't done an introductory video on my channel yet, but I might do at some point. So if I did, what sort of things about me would you guys see? It's ingrained. Would you like to know? Is there some questions you'd like to know about me? Is it just a general? Let me know what you'd like to know, and then when I am feeling brave enough to have a video of my face, I will do an intro to my channel video. So we have got our, oh, that's another thing from editing my videos. I say so often. I'm literally editing videos and I'm cringing because I'm like, so. I really need to stop doing it. Keep catching myself doing it. Anyway, we have our lift up waterfall that are getting slightly larger. We've then got our lower flap and our pocket. Now the pocket, once it's got, that's not going to fit. Once it's got a photo mat or two in there, that will keep that closed. But I'm thinking I need to magnetise this in order to keep it down, because once we've got all the design papers on, it's going to pop up a little bit. So I'm going to put some magnets on here. You do not have to do this. I'm just doing it just to make sure, really. And I think we will use some, which ones should we use for this? Where are my big ones? Are they still, they're upstairs, aren't they? I haven't brought them down. Let's use two of these. Okay. So again, these magnets are not sticky, so I have to stick them on myself. So I get a little bit of tape and I pop our magnet. Okay. Pop our magnet here. We want it far away from the edges and corners that it's not going to affect the design paper sticking down. And then we'll pop a magnet on top of that. And we'll do the same the other side. In roughly the same place. It doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be. Okay. And then I'm going to try and explain this a little bit better than I did last time. So this is how the magnet attaches. So I want this side, when it's down, to be stuck to this bit. So I'm sticky side up of this tape. I'm just moving this from there to that tape. So the magnet is now attaching to the other magnet, but it has the sticky tape underneath. Okay, so again, I'm going to put the sticky side up. I'm literally moving this magnet sideways. I'm not turning it, I'm not twisting it. It still attaches to there. I'm going to turn this tape around for these ones though, because my pieces of tape are slightly too large. Okay, I'm then going to push this down, and what happens here is that they are now attached to this side. And I'm then going to just stick the tape down, making sure there we go. So now that is secure, and then our pocket will hold that closed a bit better. Excellent day. Right, design paper. Let's go, design paper. So I want something nice on the pocket and something nice on here. What have we already used? Let's have a quick look. So we've used the car ones. Might use the checkerboard, maybe. That was all the green toned ones, wasn't it? Okay. So let's have a look, and I'm thinking the top two using this because they are photo mats technically, but then do I do it on these two? That's a tough one. Right, well, I'm definitely going to do it on the top flaps again. Should have done this before putting it in, but I'm not focused today at all, as you can tell. Sorry, I am distracted a lot today. Not entirely sure why, but I am very distracted today. Okay, so I like that. I think the bottom one needs it as well. I'm being brave, I'm just going for it. Just going for it. I don't... Oh, that was wonky. There we go. Stay. Nice. Do I do it on this one as well? Yes. Oh! Okay, well, I've just run over that piece, which was on the floor. Helpful. Anyway, right, so let's take this piece. Let's do corners on them and see. So if this has got paper in the background, like so. Okay, so I can see it there. Do I also want to see it there? Yes, I quite like that. Okay, problem solved. Decision made. Again, do these things before, because I'm now thinking I should have put the punched edge on the pocket, but no, I think that would be too much. So I like that as we are. Apparently my corner chomper is so there you go. I've said so again. I drive myself nuts with this. Look at all the mess on this. It's alright, I can use my eraser to get rid of that. That's not a problem. Okie dokie. Not using that one. That can go over there. Let's have a think. So we're going to have 2 pages. I'm thinking a yellowy page, because I kind of want to use this one. Where are we? Where is it? There we go. I kind of want to use this one on the cover, I think. Oh, or do I? I only have one of these. I've got all 3, so I could use one inside as well. On 5 months is what I'm thinking. And then what other yellows do we've got? So we've got this textured one. I do love that. I don't know if you can hear the It's really nice texture. So I quite like that flower. I think that's going to be a nice touch for this page. Maybe that for the next one. That's green. That's green. We've used that one. Used that one recently. I quite like that. I think maybe we'll use that. I've used a little bit of it, but that was an off cut. No, we don't want the flowers. Don't want the birds at this point. We've used the cars on the last page. Yes. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Apparently break my pencil in the... Where did that go? Who knows? There it is. Couldn't see my pencil mark for a second. Okay. There we go. Now I've got an A in it, which is good. The only problem with the 12 by 12s is you do sometimes lose a little bit of the pattern, but we've got B and C and an A. There it goes. Let's check this out. Does it fit nicely? Yes, it does. Let's do our corners. Okay, that there and that there. That's a nice, yes. I do like that. I do. So I hope you are enjoying this tutorial series. I've had some really nice comments from people. I do really appreciate any feedback. As I said, this is the first sort of multi-part tutorial that I've done, really. And I would love to know how you are finding it, if it's easy to follow, if there's bits that I'm going too fast, too slow, if there's anything I'm not explaining properly, if you would prefer to see me build it and choose my design paper on speed up, for example. I'm not saying that I'm going to do all of these things, but I am definitely interested in hearing opinions from you lot, because, sorry, I nearly said guys, I've defaulted to lot because I couldn't think of another word at that moment in time. I just want to know what you all think and how you are finding it. Just going to re-clip these top pieces just to make sure they are fully glued on. I'm coming off. Okie dokies. Then we'll put this on our pocket. Yes, I do like that. I like that a lot. Yes, please let me know how you're finding it. If there's something you think would work better, would work worse, would be a better way to do things. I'm going to be totally honest with you, I do want to do more tutorials like this, and so I'm going to say from the offset, I'm not going to be having cutting guides and PDF tutorials, not right now. I just don't have the capacity to do that right now, with everything else that's going on with my health and things. I may do it at some point in the future, but I just want to say now that that's probably not going to be something I can do on a regular basis to make things have a PDF version. So I just wanted to put that out there so that that expectation is dealt with. Okie dokies. So we have got, see, I keep saying so, really annoying. I'm thinking this backing bit, we'll get the light blue paper. Do I have any bits that would work without me having to cut a new piece? Probably. Which is why I save everything. It's got a bit of white in it, shouldn't be there. Well, that one's screwed. Is that long enough? No. That's not deep enough. And they're the wrong blue, really. Oh no, are they the right blue? No, this one is definitely the right blue. Pop these back into the middle, so that's the middle blue. This set of blues is lovely. I've got a set of pinks as well. I want to say that they're from the works. They're A5 pieces. In fact, I've got a red one here. So these are the reds. Yeah. So you get 3 tones of it. So these are the 3 reds you get. And I've got a blues, I've got a pinks. I'd love them in all the other colours. Just because they're so good for things like this. So they're A5. It's got code 41275. They're either from the range or the works. I'm tempted to say the range. One of those two. It's either the range or the works. So, oh my gosh. Sorry. Something stuck in my throat. So I do want to get some more of those because they are great for things like this. And I used the pink one when I was doing my baby girl album. So, okie dokie. That's the right width. Let's see. I mean, that's pretty much the same, isn't it? That's too deep. That's too thin. It's even deeper. That's the same. Don't know why I'm looking at that. That's nowhere near deep enough. That one looks better. Are you too short? That's going to be the same. Be too short? Yeah. Guess I'm going with this piece then. Oh, or do I do this one? I'm going to do this one because thicker pieces are better to keep, in my opinion. Because you can always cut them in half to make them thinner. You can't lengthen a piece. So let's trim this down to the same size as this. Which is that. I'm just going to use my scissors because I can. Let's check, does this fit inside our pocket? It does. I need to do the chomps. So when you have a pocket, I didn't really cover it on the other one because it was a different style of pocket. But when you have a pocket, you have the side hinges. Do you remember the 1/2 inch hinges? And if you put things in there, they can catch on it, which can either end up ripping the album apart or ruining the photos, or it can have some not great effects on the condition of the album. So what you want to do is you want to fill in a little bit of the pocket, but you don't need to fill all the way to the bottom. So if I put this piece on, so you can see, let me put that there so you can see where the edge of the brown is, because it is difficult to see brown on brown. So if I put that there, the pocket is here. So I've gone down about 1/4 inch, just over 1/4 inch. You don't need to go all the way. You just want to cover that little lip so that when people are putting things in, it's not catching. So let's stick this on. We want to slide it inside the pocket. There we go, make sure it's in. And then, stay there. Excellente, there we go. Take that out. So there's our front. So we are going to need something for these, and I'm thinking just a 1/2 inch strip of something, but I'm not sure which yet. And then once this is set up, we'll have whatever photo mat's in the front there, which will keep that closed, because it will be the brown card as well, not just the design paper. So that's that. I'm not going to cover the backs, and I'm going to do the strips, but I don't know of what yet. It might be blue, it might be something else, maybe do the darker blues. We'll decide that later. So now we're going to open up. I do want a nice piece on the back and then some pieces on these. Okay, bear with me, I'm having a think. With congratulations the right way up, or cute as a button. Oh, it's tricky. I think congratulations is quite a big, yeah, that way. Is this the same width? Perfect. Let's stick this down. Is this going to cover? It is. So we need to take the tape off the magnets. It's easier to do that first, I find, because if you get stuck trying to get them off, especially with a glue that dries as quick as the art glitter, you can end up with some issues. So let's pop our glue on. So with this piece is going to be stuck down, okay, like normal. So we're going to stick this one down. Thankfully that's almost perfect on those magnets and the way I did the tape, which is good. There we go. And then we're going to create a tuck spot with this. So what we're going to do, first of all, do I want a line in between them or no line? I think we need a gap, don't we? We need a small gap, like so. And then mark in here where it needs to end. So, and look at that, it's even got a stripe on it. Perfectly. Check it fits. We'll fold this up so you can see where the fold will be. So then we've got that, like so, and we want it this way up. So where my thumb is, there's not going to be any glue. I'm only going to glue as if I was making a pocket. The sides and the bottom. And then we'll stick this on. Like so. And then move it. Oh dear. Do you ever just keep on a screen? There we go. It's like, oh, it's done, and then I moved it. Really just annoy myself. So now, I'm not going to put anything too thick because obviously we've got these magnets, but you could have a little note in there. What I might do is create something little where they could do some journaling. I've got a stamp on the way that would be perfect just for something little in there. Okie dokies, so that's that done. Then these two, there's my printer paper, here we go. We're going to do a little patchwork piece. I think would look nice on here. So I'm going to cut down this white piece of printer paper just to fit the flap so we know exactly what size it is. I'm going to measure it against it. Once I know it's the right size, I'm going to start sorting out my scraps. So all the little pieces like the inch, the half inch, the quarter inch strips that you have left that I keep, that is what's going to be used for this. So I'm going to sort them all out. I've put them at the top there. I've arranged them by pattern. And then I'm going to start sticking them on. And I'm going to do a sort of diagonal. And you want to make sure that whatever strip you use hangs off both edges because you don't want a gap. You kind of want to mix up your designs. You want to mix up thick strips, thin strips. You want to try and keep it interesting without it clashing. Because you really don't want it to clash and sort of not look nice. The important thing to remember is to make sure it does cover both edges of your piece. Some of them I cut off so that I could reuse that strip. Others I stuck it on and left it until the end and cut them all off. You can do it in whichever way works best for you. So I'm just going to go through, decide on some designs. So I've got a polka dot, then the flowers, then the words, then stripes. Then I'm going to use this sort of deer piece. And then I'm thinking that we could do a slightly thicker piece. And we'll go back to a pattern. So this one is going to have the flowers and the clothes on it. And if you look, it doesn't quite reach that top corner. But that's not a problem because we're going to corner chomp the corners anyway. So that one's fine. Then I'm going to go with a thicker piece. Now this piece is one to think about because this one's got text on it. So this one says Rockabye Baby. And if you have a very thin strip of something like that, you might only get 2 or 3 letters. So it doesn't always look good. So what you need to think about with these is choosing which strips actually show the pattern and look good together. And then because I've used stripes on the other side, I'm using stripes that way. And then I've used flowers on one end, so I'm using some on the other end. You just want to make it fit nicely and look like they all work together. And, you know, if you've got all the same paper pad, then it will. I'm just going to rub down the pieces, make sure they're secure. Then cut round the edge of the white piece and just trim off the excess pieces. These pieces, most of them you'll be able to keep. If you have some tiny, tiny triangles, there's not really any point, but you can keep the larger ones. This is going to go on here, and as I said, that corner that didn't get covered is fine because we are going to chomp that corner out anyway. And this one, and that will be stuck up there. I love the look of that. I think that is stunning. So I'll pop our glue on. And I never used to use my scraps like this at all. I always worried that it would look like I was trying to scrimp. Does that make sense? I thought that it would look, A, it would look messy, and B, it would look like I was trying to not use paper. I was trying to like scrimp and save as much money as possible. And so I never really did anything with my scraps And then I've been watching some amazing YouTubers who do mini albums, and the things that they do with their scraps, which is what inspired me to make these style. And I absolutely love these. I think they're so pretty. If you get the right papers together, and normally from a paper pad, as long as you're using just one paper pad, they'll all fit together anyway. Lifting ever so slightly along this edge, which you don't want. Glue that down. There we go. Awesome sauce. So that's that one. So for the bottom one, let's get this here so we can see what we've got. I wonder if the darker birds would work here. Yes. Take that piece out. The darker birds it is. I do like these birds. I don't think there's a way up. That way. Yeah, that way. There is a way up. So let's do it to there. To there. I do love making baby albums, but I've done a lot of baby albums now, so I'm looking forward to doing some different ones. I've found the paper that I think I want to use for our wedding album, and my other half agrees. It is a perfect paper pad for us, for our style, for our just everything really. It fits us perfectly. I'm just going to slide this into here because I can. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing our wedding album at some point, but considering that that's been pushed back 4 or 5 times now, I'm trying not to get too caught up in it now, because I don't want to start getting frustrated and annoyed that I can't actually do it just yet. Oh, that is a bit long, isn't it? We need to trim you down. We need to trim you down. What about this side? Oh. Leave out some scissors so that my trimmer doesn't smush it. Okay, see how that is. So I'm looking forward to doing some other style albums, because the baby ones I do month by month. They're quite prescriptive in terms of, which going to the bottom, you know, having 6 base pages and how I lay it out. So I'm looking forward to doing some other ones. I've got one that I don't really want to say what I'm doing, because it's a surprise for someone, for a family member. And then I've also got one of my other half's cousins has 3 girls. Rather than having 3 albums, I'm doing a sort of a kind of like a folio album cross, where I'm going to have space for photos of all 3 of her girls. Hey, Squeaky Face. What? What? That's why we call her Squeaky Face, because she sounds like she's being hurt. She's not. She just came to say hello. But But she sounds like she's, you know, in a lot of pain, which is, when we first got her, it used to scare the bejesus out of me, because she'd make that noise in the middle of the night just because, you know, she's woken up or she was in a room she didn't recognise or something. So for the first couple of weeks that we had her, she was abandoned in a bin at, they think, about a week old, if that. So she did have a very traumatic start. She is a rescue. Both my cats are rescue. I mean, technically, Smudge isn't a rescue. It was from a friend, but it was a rescue mission because she was, yeah, full of fleas and ticks and worms and everything when we finally got her home. But there we go. But yes, Squeaky is lovely, but she makes that noise all the time. And I now know, now 6-7 years, that it's just her. But yeah, she's very, very noisy. Right. So there is our inside pages done. I like that. It's lighter at the top and gets darker as it goes down. That's nice. We've got our pocket that's going to have some photo mats in, and then we've got these. Now, am I going to do these strips now? No. I'm going to leave those strips until the end, but I am going to cut a nice sized photo mat for in here. Yes, that's what we're going to do. So we want 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. These are, yes, let's do 7 1/4. There we go. Let me check size wise that it's not too big. That is quite tight, isn't it? That is a shame because I would have loved that. But I suppose they could do a 5 by 7 on any of the inner pages, couldn't they? Okay, maybe I'll have to make it a bit smaller then. That's a shame. It would have been nice to have a 5 by 7 photo mat here. Do you know what? No, I am going to do it. It covers a lot, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Let's do our corners now so that I don't end up adding design paper without the corners. Excellent. Pop that in. And then we'll quickly go over. So 3 months. I don't want that. Where's the, there it is. This, by the way, best thing in the world. So where there's either bits of glue or there's marks on my table, it's come off on this light blue one. That one I think is glue. Yes, so that's glue. So my glue eraser, absolutely love it, just gets that off. In fact, I think they might all be glue. There's a bit of a mark there. This glue eraser is incredible. There. You'd never know there was anything on there except that bit in the middle. So yeah, this is amazing glue eraser. And then when you get a corner like that that's really bad, just cut it off. So I'm just cutting off any really sticky bits where it's picked up a lot. And these amazing scissors are great for this because they don't stick to it either. Just trim off sticky bits and then you're good to go. Then, if you still have some marks, let me show you on a piece of scrap. Sorry. A bit out of the bin to show you. Take a bit out of my recycling bin. Got all my papers in. So say you've got a mark, and in fact I'm going to do it with ink so that you're not going, well, it's just pencil. So say you've got, there you go, a mark. I'm going to let that dry for a second. This is mono sand eraser, and it's absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to get the glue off my fingers while I'm talking to you, because it's basically very, very fine sandpaper. Like, it doesn't feel rough at all, it feels like a normal rubber. But this will take off any marks, so it'll be dry. Yeah. So this will take off the top layer of paper. You have to do it in stages. And it just takes off that top layer. Did it right on the edge, which was a silly place to do it because I can't get to it all without creasing the paper, but there we go. And obviously, if this was actually a piece you cared about, you'd spend more time. But this is brilliant. I love it. So there's a couple of little marks just in the middle there. I'm just going to go over, and one there. Perfect. Then 4 months, we've got this pocket with a large 5x7 photo mat that is the closure. We've then got this flip waterfall, which lifts up, and then this actually lifts down as well. And we've got a secret tuck spot behind this paper for something small. So yes, that is months 3 and 4. Thank you very much for spending time with me today, guys. Keep crafting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.